Hello, hello, my friends. AmyR here with Prairie Paper and Ink. Welcome back to my face and my card making space. And a really fun card. Mixing Tim Holtz stamps and pattern paper. I did use a little bit more pattern paper with some Simon Says Stamp dies, stencil, and coordinating dies. If you're not aware, starting a couple years ago, I forget exactly when they started doing this, Simon Says Stamp started like partnering with Tim Holtz and creating wafer dies that coordinate with the Tim Holtz Stampers Anonymous stamp sets. I will link to the category. They've got a pretty good selection. I've done a few videos using some of the previous ones. Pulled out another one for today's card. And yeah, just recently they released some more and I couldn't resist. I ordered several of them. They just got here. I lost no time because I already had the stamp sets. So coordinating dies, I've talked about this. If I don't have to fussy cut, I'm not gonna. So I did some stamping and some ink blending, did a little bit of the grunge with a bit of brown ink. It was fun. So, as always, everything I used will be listed and linked in the description box below the video. My links are affiliate links. That just means that if you click on one of my links and end up placing an order, I do get a little kickback from that at no extra cost to you. That is what helps keep the lights on, pays the bills, keeps my heaters going, enables me to keep bringing out content. And that's it for the chatter. Let's get into making the card. So I started with a big mess. Pile of products. First off, I used the Simon Says Stamp A2 Postage Rectangle wafer die, the largest one. And I die cut some of this idea-ology pink palette paper. Look at me using my paper. And this is A2 size, this largest wafer die, but it gives that like postage edge, which I love this die set. I've used it so many times. And so I've got my pattern paper. And then I decided to stencil onto the pattern paper. And I pulled out the tin tile stencil, an oldie but goodie favorite. So I stuck my pattern paper to a grip mat, stuck the stencil on top of it, and then I cleaned off my blending brush. And by clean, I mean I just rub it on a microfiber cloth. I've discussed this many times. Do I wash my brushes? No. Anyway. Rubbed it on a microfiber cloth, and then I blended Simon's Rhubarb, Positively Saturated ink, over the stencil onto the pattern paper, and man, just that. I was like, oh, love so much. So I've got that, and then I have the Flower Shop stamps, one of the stamps, because there's 3 big florals with coordinating wafer dies, and then there's a text stamp, which I'll get to later. So I chose this image and some cream cardstock. And then I'm using 4 different inks. I'm using that same Rhubarb ink, then Rose, and then for my greens I'm using Artichoke and Pine. And I'm applying the ink with these little Rainbow Splash sponges. This just means I can get kind of into like smaller areas because I wanted to stamp this in like multiple colors. And yeah, doesn't that be perfect? The image itself isn't like it's not solid, it's kind of pixelated. This is a neat set. And I did do a video using this when the coordinating wafer dies were first released, and if I remember, I'll put it in the end screen at the end of this video. So I inked it up and love it. And then I just repeated this just to intensify the color. This is where stamp positioner comes in handy. Oh, and I showed that on screen, but I removed the grip mat from my Misty before I stamped this because the Tim Holtz stamps are red rubber on cling foam. So don't have the grip mat in there. I just have the stamped stencil mat. It doesn't need to be there. It lives there. So I inked this up and stamped it multiple times till I got, just the level of saturation I wanted. And then used the coordinating wafer die to die cut it. Love. Especially because, like I said, am I going to fussy cut if I don't have to? No. But also the inner parts of things like this, I don't want to bother. I can do it, use a craft knife, those sorts of things, but No, I will get the dies. Thank you very much. Okay, speaking of the dies, this was the newer coordinating die set that was released, the one for the Field Notes stamp set, which I've had for a while. Some of Tim Holtz sets come like that with the images still, like the stamps are still like die cut. You just pull them out, but they aren't weeded from the, what we'll call like the carrier sheet. It just depends on the set. Some come like that. Some just come with just the stamps. I usually keep them like that because then I can see which ones, like where they go and if I'm missing one, because especially sets like this Field Notes that has a ton of little stamps, I don't want to lose any. So there's now a coordinating die set for the stamp set. There's not dies for every single stamp, just for sort of the main ones, because some of the stamps too are just little scripts, little this, little that. And I chose several of the stamps and I'm stamping them onto more of this cream cardstock. And some I'm stamping with that rose ink, some I stamped with the pine ink, and then these really detailed little like labels I'm stamping with black soot archival ink because I want just all that detail. All that detail. This is such a good set. And yeah, like I've had it for a while. Having the dies, I was like, oh, time to finally pull it out and use it. Yay. So the coordinating wafer dies, they're fabulous. Convenient. And I like the ones for those detail labels like that, the butterfly, the bird, and the little floral there. The dies have like the roughed up kind of edges to them. And I don't know why. That makes me so happy. It just does. So after I had everything stamped, I'm going to die cut these. And yeah, this is definitely something too where if you didn't have a lot of time or you just didn't have a direction you're going in or just, you just want to be a little bit crafty, a set like this, I would just stamp like a bunch of times. Stamp a bunch of times, die cut a bunch of them out, maybe add some ink, fiddle with them, rough them up, grunge them up, whatever, and then just put them in a dish to use for future projects, because you can tuck them in here and there, layer them, do whatever. Like you can create your own little ephemera. I love it. So I've kind of got, by this point, a building block. So off camera, I did more die cutting, fiddling around. I pulled out the Vault Noteworthy Thinlits die set to die cut that little file folder, also from cream cardstock, because Tim had shown that in, I think, a video or something about like things like spilling out of that file, and it's been in the back of my head ever since. Plus, I was literally like organizing some of my paperwork and stuff, doing this as a job with actual manila file folders. And I was like, oh wait, I have a little die that does that. So I die cut it and then I stamped one of the stamps from the Field Notes set onto it and then another one there on the front. Love. And then I pulled out, this scripty stamp is from the Flower Shop set. So I stamped that onto the background that I die cut and stenciled from the pattern paper. And then I just used my clear transparent grid to move the stamp without having to clean it. So I stamped that with the archival ink onto the background. And then the greenery I will get to, I die cut that from some green leaf cardstock, but I am going to channel Tim Holtz and add brown ink to basically everything. Again, I don't do this very often, and yet when I do, it's fun. It's fun and it's satisfying, and it doesn't have to be brown. You could do whatever color you want. I was like, let's go a little vintage. Let's go a little grunge. So I used Vintage Photo Distress ink and my little blending foam. I keep those, the OG mini blending foams. I have one for every color, and they fit in the bottom of the Distress ink cubes. So that's how I've been storing them for years and years and years. So I used that, and I edged like my die cut flower from the Flower Shop set, and then all of that ephemera just went around the edges with that Vintage Photo ink to just give it that little extra something. And then I also used the green inks. So I used that artichoke ink, and I'll also use the pine ink, and just using my little blending brush and going around like the little file folder, some of these little Field Notes pieces. And then the greenery is the Windswept Leaves wafer die set that I have used countless times. It's one of my favorites. So I die cut that from the Simon's Greenleaf cardstock. I blended the artichoke ink onto the die cut pieces, and then I go in with the pine to deepen that up and bring everything just, oh, so good. So good. So added that, and then also added it to the edges of some of these die cut field notes and to my little file folder. Just making a big old mess because it's not going to matter in the end because I'm going to layer everything up. I'm going to add splatter, of course. So also added the vintage photo to everything after adding that green ink, just to bring it all together, add that little bit of grunge. And then a couple of these other labels, I added the rhubarb ink to. Love. And then the vintage photo. And then I took the Blacksit Archival, the ink pad, and went direct to paper with that just on the edges of all of these like little field notes. I even did it to the little file folder. I did not do it to the leaves or that big rose because that would have taken forever. That would have taken forever to get into those nooks and crannies. So basically everything with like easy enough edges. And I even did the background, just the very edges with that black ink. It's subtle, but it gives it that little extra something. And then I grunged up my greenery too with the vintage photo and the little blending foam, just a light amount on there just to tone it down a bit. And then added it to my little file folder. And the Bold Thanks sentiment, there's an asterisk after it on the Simon side. I've mentioned this with other products. Usually when that's there, that means they're going to discontinue it. A moment of silence for me. This is one of my favorite wafer dies. I've used it so many times. So doing my links for this video and saw that and I was like, they're going to discontinue my favorite thanks wafer die? No. So anyway, I die cut it from black cardstock, layered it together, just to give it a little bit of extra heft with liquid glue. And then my card base is a top folding cream note card, 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inches, so A2 sized. On the inside of the card, I use the tin tile stencil again and the rhubarb ink, just keeping it a little darker towards the bottom and just letting it fade as it got up towards the score line. And then I had a couple extra of the greenery bits. And then I had stamped and die cut and blended, etc. Another one of those little field notes images, the little butterfly one, because of course that's my favorite. And adhere that. And that will finish off the inside of my card. So once I have those bits adhered, it is now time to start adhering all of this ephemera. So like I'd mentioned, the like little manila folder, the idea of it like spilling out, all the contents spilling out, all these little field notes was my thing. So I had kind of laid everything out to figure out how I wanted it because I didn't want to cover up everything, obviously. So just kind of adhering them so it looks like they're all spilling out of this little file folder and tucking them in here and there. I'd stamped one of the little images from the field note set onto that green label there using the rose ink. And if a person wanted to, you could make it so it was actually like interactive. Like, no, I'm going to glue this shut, but you could adhere things in a way that could open up and you could have another, like a little sentiment or a gift card, things like that. But I'm just using it as decoration. So we're going to glue it closed. And I love that field label. That big one fits like perfectly on that folder wafer die. Like it's all just meant to be. And then my greenery bits to go with the rose. That's been like my thing lately, is really tucking in like little greenery bits, little die cut flowers, little die cut butterflies, all those things. So I got all those adhered, glued that folder shut, had put my magnets on it for a couple of minutes just to let the glue like set. And then started adhering this to my card front. So I've got my folder with all the little field notes spilling out of it. This big old rose. Gonna adhere that. My die cut sentiment, which I'm gonna add a little bit of foam adhesive just to the back of that T there because it's hanging over the folded over little file folder. So that'll just give it a little bit of extra strength. And then I can adhere that into place. And then that little circle field notes piece of ephemera, I'm going to pop that up with a thin little foam square as well, just to give it a little extra dimension. And once I got that into place, we are of course going to add splatter. Oh, and a dragonfly. the ETCHED Dragonfly. I used it a million times. One of my all-time favorite little wafer dies. I die cut the wings from some shimmery vellum, the body from a scrap of black cardstock, and then we're going to adhere him together, and he's fabulous, and we love him. And then he's going to get popped onto this card, and it's just so good. It's just so good. So we'll adhere a little dragonfly. I love him. And there's like all the etching detail on the body die cut as well. You can't really see it on camera, but yeah, one of my favorites. And then splatter, of course. So I put this in my splat box, and I started with Positively Perfect white splatter. It needs to be stirred up really, really well. All that pigment settles to the bottom. So stirred it up really well, dipped my fan brush in there, and then fairly heavily splattered this entire card front with that splatter. And once I've got that in place, I let that dry, and then I'm going to add black splatter, of course. So Positively Perfect black splatter, which also needs to be stirred up. It doesn't look like it, but it does. The pigment does settle to the bottom of this as well. And this one, just like all the other ones though, I'm very conscious of it, but especially this black one, because it will stain everything if you're not careful. So I'm very careful with it, and I make sure to put the lid on it because I'm clumsy and I would knock it over. So I let everything dry. My camera decided to freak out with its lighting. It adjusts itself. You'll see it literally in a second here. It starts to lighten up and go not yellow anymore. I don't know what was irritating it this time. Something. Probably just me. Anyway, my final little embellishment is some Pawsitively saturated gems. These are I think they're Sprout is the shade. Is that what they're called? Yes. Just little green gems just to finish it off. So I adhered those into place with some liquid glue. Let the glue dry, and this card is complete. So we've got vintage, a little bit of grunge, some pattern paper, stencil, splatter, shimmery vellum, some of my favorites, more Tim Holtz stuff that I do need to use and stop collecting and just have fun with it and use it. And yeah, everything I used will be listed and linked in the description box below for you to check out if you're interested. Thank you all so very much for hanging out with me, thumbs upping and commenting. I appreciate it a ton, and I'll see you all very soon in the next video. Bye. Thank you so much to my amazing Patreon supporters. For anyone that might be interested in joining my Patreon community and supporting me, the link to my Patreon is in the description box below the video. For everyone else, as always, thank you all so much for taking the time to watch my videos, for thumbs upping, commenting, subscribe if you haven't, I'd love to have you. And here's a couple other videos for you to check out in case you missed them. Bye!